I was born September 13th, 1961, as Jonathan David Palumbo. But I had a traumatic childhood. My first memory was when I was 3 years old, was my grandmother holding a shotgun to my father because he had beaten up my mother. And then I started taking that abuse, which was disguised in Proverbs, 13:23, where it says, "Spare the rod, spoil the child," and I would get beat every day. Like a lot of people, I became confused about where I was with God, and I had a distaste in my mouth for organized religion. I became a flight attendant, and then a year or so ago, I started having medical issues where I diverted an aircraft as a crew member because I had some type of seizure episode on the aircraft. Then a few months later, I ended up having back surgery, and I had another episode on the table, and where my blood pressure dropped out. They had to resuscitate me on the table. I had a stroke or a mini stroke in the doctor's office a couple months after that, and it culminated in November. The end of November, I had a seizure while I was driving and totaled my truck, and that was a wake-up call to me. When I got out of the hospital, I went to get some stuff out of the truck, and I crawled in, and as I'm trying to find stuff in there, I'm looking around, and the only area inside the truck that wasn't damaged, wasn't bent up, was the rectangle where I was seated. And like it's giving me chills now, it gave me chills then. Somebody had to be riding in that seat with me. Something had to. I should have been dead. And I immediately thought that God saved my life. This kept rolling over in my head for the next couple weeks as I was going through testing for seizures and epilepsy stuff. And my neighbors came over, and I asked, "Where do you go to church?" And they told me, and I said, "Do you mind if I go with you?" And it was about a week later, and I went with them. And I haven't missed a Sunday since. I found what was missing in my life. And it doesn't have anything to do with a building. It doesn't have anything to do with what I was thinking of, organized religion. It has to do with people. People's hearts. I always knew I had a big heart. And now I found a bunch of people that are just like me, that have these big, huge hearts that want to help people. They want to give whatever they have for other people, for the benefit of everyone around them. The people at New City, they're my safe place because I can sit here and I can say whatever I need to say, confess whatever I need to confess. And I know there's no judgment, no hate, no turning away from me. I trust that. I'm happy to be alive. And I had been to the point before the accident that I told God I was ready to die. I was done. If he wanted to take me home, I was fine. And now it's like, he has plans for me. I don't know what they are yet, but he has plans, and I can feel it. I want to help as many people as I can, like people have helped me.